Hey, my Taurus babies, what's happening? This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. I hope everybody is having a good weekend so far. This is going to be Taurus and Virgo sitting in a tree. Kissing. This is going to be your rest of August, all of September type read. Okay, there you go. I don't know. I'm going to just get the cards on the table. I saw some things, but I don't know. It feels like some of y'all are going through it right now. And that's kind of hard for me to understand because Taurus and Virgo are both earth signs, and that usually creates a very solid union. Yeah, that trapped in fear showed up. But it seems like y'all got some things going on. There's the health card. Yeah. Self-love, personal growth, positive movement forward. So there's a snag here, I guess, if I want to call it a snag. Let's see what the little cards got. So overall energy, the front end of it, Triumph pulls the Two of Swords. Shadow on the back end of your overall energy pulls the Ace of Coins. Recent past, Harmony pulls the Three of Cups. Passion Ignited pulls the Four of Coin. Trapped in Fear pulls the Princess of Swords. Current energy, third eye chakra, pulls the Six of Coin. The health card, your centerpiece, pulls the King of Swords. Love Begins pulls the Six of Cups. Self-love pulls the Eight of Wands. Personal growth pulls the Seven of Wands. Positive movement forward pulls the Moon card. Okay. I want to make sure before I open my fat mouth that earth thing is earth thing. I see some things going on here. Taurus and Virgo, y'all are now getting an enhanced reading. There you go. That's how that works. I'm going to do another layer of cards because I'm kind of... That's the back end of the Empress. Ace of Coins pulls the Six of Swords. So Harmony, Three of Cups, pulls the Hermit, the back end of the Hermit. Four of Coins, Passion Ignited, pulls the King of Swords. So he's on here twice. Ooh, right on top of each other. Get the hell out. Princess of Swords, Trapped in Fear, pulls the Eight of Wands. Third eye chakra and the Six of Coin pulls the Ace of Coin. Okay, so that Health and King of Swords is pulling Caution. That's the Eight of Pentacles. Six of Cups on top of Love Begins is pulling the Tower. But it's pulling the... Yeah, it's pulling the back end of the Tower. There it is. Unexpected revelations. Okay, I'm good now. Eight of Wands and the self-love pulls the Four of Wands, the back end of it. Growth and Seven of Wands pulls the Moon. And the Moon and positive movement forward pulls the Lover's card from the front side. Okay, so your overall energy, the front end of it, what's at the bottom of it, the Triumph card, the Two of Swords, and then the Empress card, the back end of the Empress card, it feels like, Taurus, you're weighing options. Not necessarily to leave the relationship, but to make some changes in the relationship. So let me say this first. I ain't gonna resonate with everybody. Eat the fish, leave the bones. That part. This seems like this is kind of geared towards Taurus and Virgos that are still together, haven't split up or anything, but there's a lot of change going on and some redirection on the back end of your overall Taurus. The shadow, the Ace of Coins, and the Six of Swords, they're changes. I mean, the Six of Swords in the reverse, the backside of this is clearly about changes, and maybe even a reboot, but only after y'all deal with some of this dark shit. And the Moon card is on the board. The Tower card is on the board. The Ace of Pentacles is on the board. And Four of Coins, Three of Cups. So, yeah, there are changes. There's just changes. And I guess if I was looking at this way, it almost feels like you're trying to go back to the beginning, because there are errors. I don't know how else to say this. This is the way it's coming out. That have happened. Miscommunication, things that have been left unsaid, issues that are unresolved, and yeah, this is creating distance between you and your Virgo Taurus. And it just feels like y'all are kind of in two different little sailboats drifting away from your recent past. And this feels like we're going back to beginning of the summer, but some of this has its roots at the beginning of the year, January, February, March. The Harmony card, the Three of Cups, and the Hermit card. Is that the Hermit? Yeah, the Hermit, back end of the Hermit card. It looks like, Taurus, you were being patient. There were some things maybe Virgo needed to work out, needed to go away, needed to go study, needed to get a job somewhere else. Maybe you guys actually did an actual split with the knowledge of getting back together, but there were things that were in the way from the two of you being totally together. At some point, when I get to the next set of cards, you got back together, and it looks like y'all were able to cut the car back on, vroom vroom, passion ignited, but one or both of you were guarded. It's a damn coin card, so I'm calling it like I see it, Taurus and Virgo. One or the both of you were guarded, coming back together. In this gap between the first and the second card, I'm going to just kind of say there may have been some things that went on outside of your relationship. At the end of all of that, it was about being rational and cool, that intellectual air, sortie energy, and just kind of looking at things. And now this is directly to Taurus from a rational, logical, practical kind of perspective to put things in place. However, it left trapped in fear. Like, you know, what the hell? Like this little split, like I said, was some kind of error. Like that, maybe that shouldn't have happened. So here you are creating all this shit in your head. All these little scenarios and whatnot. Like, oh, I don't know what happened. Had you in a hopeful mindset, and this is the side that came up, but what didn't happen, this is the vice versa day. Misunderstandings, they were not cleared up, because this is the side that didn't come up. So you still were left in the dark. You didn't know. You were hoping that at some point, sooner rather than later, that things were going to clear up and all the gray clouds would go away and you would be here. But here hasn't happened. We get to our current energy, third eye chakra, that intuition, Six of Coins, and the one or the ace. Feels like, Taurus, you kind of made up your mind on some shit, that completeness, on which way you're going to let the relationship go. I'll say it like that. So you're not really putting the brakes on it, but you are trying to follow your intuition in the middle of all of this. And you're still trying to project an image of being generous. I think I'm saying that right. It's like you're trying to, even though you got all this shit up here in the background just kind of throttling, you're still trying to put a good face on this. But whatever you've made your mind up to, just kind of going forward, but maybe not. In the meantime and in between time, there's some issues, and this may not only be physical health, it could also be maybe mental health. And just because of all the shit going on, pick your cause, pick your issue on the outside world, on top of whatever interpersonal pressures and tension you may have been feeling. It might put you right here with your health. That's a caution. That's a caution. So I'm going to say with the centerpiece and the challenge card is that you need to get clear. Now, Taurus, I'm talking to you about your boundaries, about what's acceptable, especially where communication is concerned, because this is the intellectual air energy relates very much to what you're thinking is what you're saying, and a lot of you are thinking it, but you're not saying it. And so you may need to put some boundaries around certain things within your relationship, particularly where exes in the past is concerned. So your Virgo may be contacting, talking to, blah, 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 Facebook Messenger, pick your thing. And this may be making you uncomfortable, Taurus. So you may need to verbally, once again, we're dealing with that air, communicate how you're feeling. If you don't, here we come back to this. And like I said, this may be more mental health type shit, just triggering certain things in you. Put those boundaries up. Get them up. And that's a caution. So really for the next month or so, a little over a month, you probably just need to be paying attention to how certain things are making you feel. If there are things in your relationship that are triggering, if some of this, whatever went on here in the past, left you trapped in fear or feeling like you were trapped in fear, to check that out. And don't let it go get out of hand any further where, bull, you know what I'm getting ready to say to you. In another month, you are just ready to sharpen up horns, dust off the hooves, and go running for the China shop. I'm just saying. If you let this shit fester, whatever this is bothering you, because there's an energy of things being unresolved. And Taurus is the energy of you just kind of going, okay, we're going to pick up right with cut. Scene 1, Act 2. We're just going to pick up right here, and we're going to just act like we've been walking down the street the whole time. Come on. It's that energy. And when you try to let go of the past or things that have hurt you in the past, and you don't really want to articulate all of that energy into the relationship because you know it's going to cause an argument or some other shit, while that sounds good and noble, at the end of all of that, if it's affecting how you feel, if it's affecting what you're thinking, you need to open up. You need to open up and say what you need to say. So then that brings us over here. Love begins. And I'm going to say, if these big cards were reversals, I'm going to say there's a halt in love beginning. This has got a couple different little feet on it. For some of you, you may find out, I said find out, and that this is sitting on top of the moon card, and then on top of this 8 of Wands up here. I'm hearing all kind of little shit. This may not be pertaining to Taurus and Virgo. This may be pertaining to an ex that's trying to jump back in somebody's cup because of something. It feels like if Virgo was vulnerable up here, and let me hit the pause button right there and put a semicolon behind that. This could be Virgo feeling this way and Taurus in the reverse. So however it's resonating with you, might not be you, Taurus. I might be talking to Virgo, but the energy feels like I'm talking to Taurus. So unhit the pause button and go back. Taurus, you may be feeling And see, this is where the intuition part starts creeping in. You may be feeling like there's an ex, but you're not actually certain and sure, and what it feels like is whatever went on up here with this little brief separation, it may have been due to coronavirus and work and everybody working 50 hours a day and kind of ships crossing in the night, not really communicating, talking, or doing anything, just kind of on the grind, which created that separation and also left the door open for somebody else to poke their head in. That's that energy right there. And that is what's keeping this from happening. Now, we just add one more layer to that, and what you got? There you go. And it's that hidden causes. It says hidden causes. This is the back end of that. This is what popped up. You see that third eye stuck up there? Okay. Following your intuition and the revelations that come along with it. Not necessarily the tower happening from the front end, where in its basic form, the tower, and I'm just using this as an example, so just hold on. In its basic form, the front end is you see something and that causes an eruption. You see your partner cheating, and here we are on Cheaters and you're confronting everybody. That kind of tower is the front of this. The back of this is that shit that's going on that you really don't know about, but it's causing tower type activity. It's causing you to respond in a way that shakes shit up. And all you're doing is following your intuition on that. Which then we move down here talking about self-love. Now here we go with the communication part. So this is probably getting into the middle towards the end of September, if it applies, if it resonates, where now you've kind of figured something out. I don't think anything has actually been thrown out in the open. I don't think anybody's actually confronted anybody, but everybody's actions are acting like something happened. And so this is where the fast communication comes in. And this is the back of, or actually no, that's the front end. This is the front of the Four of Wands. But it's not, the back end of that's about celebration. It's not about that. It's about your bond. And so then, I'll put a comma behind that for Taurus, we're also talking about loyalty and commitment. Which brings us here to personal growth. And Taurus feeling like, am I growing in this process or am I not growing in this process? And then having to defend what you're thinking, what you're feeling. So there's going to be some communication opening up down here, but it's not going to be in a straightforward manner. It's going to come out, it's going to be a conversation about chicken soup and pinto beans, and somehow or another we're going to get into another conversation because of that. And so then Taurus is beginning to get a little defensive. Like, I feel like that because whatever it is. Following that profound intuition. Come on. I'm just saying. See, we get back here on the moon card to the front side. It's about uncertainty. So I'm going to say that uncertainty is what's underneath all of this. Coming to a profound conclusion, your intuition leading you right to where you need to go, what you need to know. And so then from there, and this is a lot of little tricky, intricate shit going on here. Like I said, it's a conversation about chicken soup and pinto beans. And in that same conversation, we get back to that back end of that tower. Well, what the hell you mean when you said that? Well, you the one that left. Okay, that energy right there. And so this says positive moving forward. If I read reversals, most of these cards would probably be upside down. Both stuck up on top of his head. There's no positive, nothing moving nowhere, because now we got to deal with this shit right here. It's the Lover's card. And it is at this point that Taurus in particular, you become aware of you in this situation and Virgo in this situation. Like I said, it could be vice versa, and I'm going to do the other way. I'm going to do Virgo and Taurus here shortly. But right now, it just... And you see how one of them is just all macked out in a biohazard suit? Almost to the point where I'd want to say, Taurus, whatever you got going at them, they're just slinging hash right back at you. But they're doing it in a guarded way. They're not, and in doing that, it feels like there's something they're hiding. The moon card there is telling me, yeah, that's probably the case. Just saying. In your best efforts, Taurus, probably the best thing to do is to say what's on your mind. I'm coming right back here to this little business in the center, your centerpiece. Because you don't want this affecting your mental health. You don't want this, putting you into some kind of funky situation with your health overall, because you're not communicating what you feel because you're afraid to. And when I look at what's on this board, it's a lot of dark energy here. It's all dark cards, a few little light sprinkles here and there, which means there's hope. But right now, what you're dealing with in the thick of all of this is a lot of behind the scenes moon type shit. Period. So, Taurus, if you gotta write a letter, send a postcard, call somebody, say some prayers, you need to do it. You just need to fucking do it. Because it's not worth, because you don't want to hurt something. Maybe this is one of those situations, Taurus, where you need to think about, is this situation getting toxic? Do you want to stay in a situation that's getting toxic? Or do you want to clear the air before it gets toxic? Let's throw that out there. Stay in your own skin, clear the path. Remember to breathe. Coming back to it. That wants to pop out. Oh shit, all three popped out. Okay. Go on a real fucking date. Smell good and get your sexy on. Take a fucking trip. Go see some shit. Do some new things. Talk to people cooler than you. Winning, you got a good thing going. Don't ruin that shit. Oh boy. And they all three popped out at the same time. So with the take a trip and to go on a real date, that may be the prescription for all that ails you. So you can have, where's the bond? So you can have some kind of bonding, get that bonding back. So Taurus does not feel like their loyalty is being taken for granted. I'm just saying. And for whatever it's worth, this is, like I said, Taurus and Virgo, probably one of the most solid relationships besides Taurus and Capricorn, or Taurus and Taurus, where you're just dealing with earth signs. One of the most grounded, practical situations you can be in. So that this popped out is not a mistake. You're in a good situation. You're winning. You got a good thing going. Don't ruin it because you're not communicating what needs to be said, or you're feeling like something is going on. You may uncover some truth here, Taurus. You may find out your Virgo did some shit or trying to get ready to do some shit, whatever. That doesn't mean it's not a good relationship. Whatever happened here that caused whatever distancing or separation, you need to get to the crux of that. So then you need to stay in your own skin. You don't need to be trying to figure out what everybody else is doing. You need to figure out what you're doing, Taurus. I'm just saying. Y'all yelling and throwing shit at your phones and hitting buttons and stopping and whatever. I get it. But stay in your own, deal with your own, be accountable for what's yours. So you don't feel like you need to be jumping out of your skin trying to deal with other people's mess. Just saying. Remember to breathe. Just remember to breathe. This is life, baby. This ain't no damn competition, no race, no other. This is life. So at some point, you have to just stop. You want to do calm commercials that come on TV with their 15 and 30 second little breathe things. That part right there. Recenter. Regroup. Get it together for yourself, not for anybody else, for yourself, so that you can take care of your heart. Yeah, oh yeah, I done went somewhere, I'm sorry. And then clear the path, and that means you need to communicate. Clear the path so you guys can get on with whatever it is you need to get on with. And for some of you, it may be in a breakup in your future. For some of you, it may just be a whole complete blowover of the whole situation. I'm going to pull Virgo and Taurus here shortly, but clear the path so that whatever needs to happen, whatever needs to be said, whatever needs to be talked about, however the air needs to be cleared, clear the path so that can happen. Taurus, I love you, my babies. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.